Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Today, we have another interesting episode for you guys, but before we get into it, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button because we're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we would really appreciate it if you helped us out. So go ahead and do that. But anyway, let me get into this topic here. Now, we all know that Skip Bayless is one of the most popular voices in all of sports media. Skip Bayless has never been afraid to say what he thinks. It's one of the reasons why he had the goal to criticize LeBron from the moment he stepped into the NBA, and he's been doing it for years. But it seems this time, it looks like one person has finally seen enough, like has finally had enough with Skip Bayless. And that person is who? That person is Kevin Durant. Because about a day or two ago, Skip Bayless and Kevin Durant again had another public spat. And this is not the first time this has happened. You got to go all the way back to 2013. These guys have been going at it on social media for years now. For years, it seems as if Skip Bayless has been getting under the skin of Kevin Durant. And for reasons, to be honest with you, I really don't understand. And this latest one is something that just completely surprised me. So during the Nets game, that the Nets or the Brooklyn Nets were playing, Skip Bayless was watching that game, and he was doing what he normally does. He tweets during games. Now, I don't follow Skip Bayless on Twitter. I'm not really on Twitter, so I don't know what people are saying during games. But he was tweeting, and Skip Bayless put out a tweet that really got Kevin Durant irked. So what's the tweet? Essentially, Skip Bayless put out the tweet, and the tweet said, "The best player on the planet was at it again in Brooklyn, going assassin mode in overtime for the COVID-rocked Nets. Nothing like Kevin Durant. You watch LeBron?" That's what Skip Bayless said, right? He put out this quote, and it looks like he was giving Kevin Durant props, and he elbowed LeBron James in the process. And then Kevin Durant responded, and he said, "I really don't like you." Well, apparently, that tweet was brought to the attention of Skip Bayless, and on Undisputed yesterday, depending on, again, on when you're watching this episode here, Skip Bayless was not going to take this one on the chin. He wasn't having it this time. So what we want to do here is play sort of Skip Bayless's comments. Then I want to play the back and forth that Skip Bayless had with Shannon Sharpe, because it seemed at one point that Skip was genuinely irritated with some of the things that Shannon Sharpe was saying, and he was letting his feelings be known loud and clear. So before we go too far, I want you to take a listen to what Skip Bayless was saying, and also listen to that exchange that he had with Shannon Sharpe. So before we go too far, take a listen to that here.
I think the thing is, Skip, I think we're kind of taking the bait because you're responding to something that he said, and I was hoping that we would let it lie, and then it would just blow over and go away.
Well, I'm not going to let that lie.
Why?
Well, I'm just not. I'm not running for anybody.
Oh, no.
So I just laid it on the table.
No, but
I just put him on the couch right here, and I told you what motivates him. I'm going to tell you what the underlying motivation seriously is.
Well,
so I resent that you would say that to me on this show.
Skip,
I'm not running.
Skip, it's not about running. You say all the time, why would athletes respond? So why would you respond? It's the flip side. Why would you respond to something KD said if it
Because
doesn't
I don't want to look like on the show that I'm afraid of him. And by the way, I've invited him on the show 1,000 times, and I invite him now. If he's out for Christmas time, if he wants to come sit right here, I would love that. Okay, I would love to pick his brain and put him on the literal couch here.
Let me explain. Let me give you a little glimpse inside to a side of an athlete. And like I said, I've never met Kevin Durant before in my life. But let me try to explain what I think is going on with Kevin Durant. When you heap praise on him, and then if you just heap praise on him, I don't believe he would have responded to you. But when you said, "Did you see that LeBron?" he views that as you're trying to pit him against LeBron, and he wants no part of that.
Okay, but I'm saying he's better than LeBron.
Okay, Skip, you could have said what you said and not put LeBron in it. The moment you put LeBron in it, I had a feeling that this was going to come back because he views it.
You did?
Skip, contrary to what you think.
You're saying he's afraid of LeBron?
No, see, there you go.
Well, I don't know.
It's always somebody's got to be afraid because they don't want to take a shot at somebody. You feel they're afraid of them. The man have the utmost respect for LeBron. Contrary to what you and others think, a lot of the great players have profound respect for LeBron.
Well, you can have respect for him and think you're better than him.
But see, that's not what you're thinking. You're trying to pit, he views it as you're trying to pit him against LeBron.
Time out. What do we do on this show every single day? Time out. It's my turn. We go talking about LeBron James versus Kevin Durant for best player on the planet. So if I'm tweeting at night, everything is in the context of Undisputed. Trust me, Kevin Durant watches Undisputed. He knows what the pet theme, the central theme of the show is. Kevin Durant is better than LeBron James. What am I going to tweet? You watch this, LeBron? Because that was a sensational display. They were down to 4 rookies playing with Kevin Durant, and even you agreed with me on the show yesterday. That was an MVP-type performance, right?
Yes.
Okay. So why wouldn't I tweet that? We pit them against each other every single day for the last 4 years on this show.
Yes.
That's all we do. We have talked about those two against each other more than any two against each other in all of our time.
Now, clearly, there's a lot of things to unpack. There's a lot of things that were said, and I want to get into them. First of all, I can see why Skip Bayless was angry. I can understand it. One, he was defending Kevin Durant as he always has been doing. So it must have annoyed Skip Bayless when Kevin Durant had that reaction to what he was saying. I think Skip Bayless, like any other person, would have been annoyed. Imagine if you're always complimenting somebody or always saying nice things about somebody, and in the way that person never reciprocates it. Instead, that person always has something negative to say to you when you've been saying nice things about. You're going to be like, wait, what is going on here? And I think for that moment, Skip Bayless became human. He tried to act like as if, because in the beginning, he was like, well, you know, usually I would let this get under my skin, but this time I'm not going to fall into the trap and blah, 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 blah. But as time went on during that segment, he was starting to get angry because it bothered him. Why? Because he's a human being, right? He was a human being. So I can understand why Skip Bayless felt the way that he felt. Now, on the side of Kevin Durant, I think KD, the angle he was coming at it from was like, man, listen, just keep me out of your nonsense. Keep me out of your BS. Like, please, you can just like, you could have said that comment, but don't make it like it's me versus LeBron. Because remember, KD has this kind of hate relationship with the media. You know how they say love-hate? He has like a hate relationship with the media. He doesn't really get along with these guys. But unfortunately for Kevin Durant, that's what sports is all about. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say it, these discussions are going to happen, and you cannot stop people from making these type of comparisons and arguments. You cannot stop people. If you're an athlete, I don't know, maybe if you're an NBA player watching this video, you can't have it all. You can't get to go out there and play basketball and do all those great things, make your money, do your thing, follow your passion, and at the same time control everybody's opinion and put a muzzle on what people think. Like they can only say what you want. It's not going to happen. You cannot control the masses, right? You can't control that. So for you to get angry at them and go, you're not going to change it, is what they call par for the course, is what comes with it. It's what comes with it. So for that aspect, I understand where Katie was coming from, but to another point, it's like, okay, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because it may be Skip Bayless at that moment. The next moment, it may be Shannon Sharp. The next moment, it may be Colin Cowhurst. What are you going to do? You're going to be saying, I don't like all of these people. You can't do it. So you might as well just kind of, leave it alone. Now, if I was Skip Bayless, if I was personally him, based on what he said, he's like, I'm making these comments in the context of the show Undisputed. I would continue to do what I'm doing as long as I'm not harming anyone. As long as I'm not lying on that person and making things up, I will continue to do my job. No one is going to stop me from doing my job. And I think that's the point. Skip, he's like, I'm not afraid. I'm going to continue to do my job. He's not going to bully me out of my. That's, I think, the point that Skip Bayless was making. And if I was KD, if I was him, I would just I would just ignore some of this stuff. It's hard. Yes, people say things. People say things to get under your skin. We get it. We get it. But at the same time, you're not going to defeat everybody. You're not going to stop the world from saying what they want to say. You're not going to do it. I don't care what you do. How many tweets you throw out there. You're not going to be able to answer to every critic out there. You're just not going to be able to. So to me, I think those are really my thoughts on this opinion, but that's just me. What I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about this feud? What are your thoughts on this feud between Skip Bayless and Kevin Durant that's been going on for years now? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.